The McDonnell Douglas DC-9 has earned an enduring place in aviation history as one of the most successful and influential commercial jet airliners ever built. With its distinctive T-tail, rear-mounted engines, and sleek, clean-wing design, the DC-9 introduced a new level of efficiency, reliability, and passenger comfort to the short to medium-range airline market when it entered service in the mid-1960s. Over the 4 decades of production that followed, McDonnell Douglas and its successor companies delivered a total of 976 DC-9 aircraft across several major variants. Even now, over 50 years since its first flight, the venerable DC-9 continues flying in both passenger and cargo roles around the world. The story of the DC-9 began in 1960, when the Douglas Aircraft Company began preliminary design studies for a new short-range jetliner to complement its larger DC-8 long-range flagship. From the outset, Douglas aimed to create an efficient, no-frills successor to the successful piston-engined DC-9 that would appeal to the burgeoning short-haul air travel market. After evaluating over 150 different design concepts, Douglas settled on a low-wing monoplane with 2 rear fuselage-mounted Pratt & Whitney turbofan engines, a T-shaped tail, and room for 5 abreast seating with a single aisle. The aircraft's dimensions were tailored for quick turnarounds at smaller airports. Its fuselage stood just over 30 feet high on a 93-foot wingspan, with an overall length of 119 feet. With a standard 2+3 seating layout, the DC-910 baseline model could carry a maximum of 90 passengers up to 1,500 miles. Douglas announced the new DC-9 in 1963, emphasizing its modest size and operating costs compared to larger jets like the Boeing 727. Branded as the value jet, the DC-9 was designed to allow airlines to profitably serve shorter routes between smaller cities. The clean sheet design incorporated several innovations to enhance efficiency and passenger comfort. The 2 rear-mounted Pratt & Whitney JT8D turbofans were some of the first commercial jet engines optimized for lower noise and emissions. To reduce weight, the DC-9 was one of the industry's first wide-scale users of aluminum alloys, composites, and titanium. The T-tail configuration allowed for lower takeoff and landing speeds and better engine-out performance. Inside, wider fuselage dimensions enabled 5 abreast seating with a spacious 20-inch aisle. The DC-9's wing design minimized external high-lift devices to reduce drag. Simple single-slotted flaps between the engines provided sufficient lift, aided by leading edge slats outboard. This clean wing configuration gave the DC-9 excellent cruise performance for its size. To streamline cockpit operations, the DC-9 introduced a modern ergonomic flight deck layout with sophisticated avionics for its time. The flight engineer station was eliminated in favor of a simple 2-pilot cockpit, reducing crew requirements. With its excellent systems integration and automation, Douglas advertised that the DC-9 could be flown by a 2-pilot crew with ease and precision. Combined with its modest flight deck, single-aisle cabin, and lightweight structure, these efficiencies gave the DC-9 decidedly lower operating costs than earlier jets. A new service-friendly design eased maintenance access to systems, while anti-skid brakes and double-slotted trailing edge flaps enhanced landing performance. Even with engines mounted at the rear, Douglas engineers achieved exceptionally low noise levels both inside and outside. Overall, the DC-9's combination of efficient aerodynamics, compact size, and robust performance margins delivered excellent economics for airlines. The DC-9 program progressed swiftly after launch. Assembly of the first prototype began at Douglas's Long Beach, California plant in 1963. The initial example, registered N9DC and painted in striking gold livery, was rolled out just over 12 months later in early 1965. After extensive ground tests, the first DC-9 took to the skies on February 25, 1965, with test pilots Lou Wallach and John Mullins at the controls. The inaugural flight validated the DC-9's responsive handling and excellent stability, setting the stage for an intensive 1,300-hour flight test program. Just 11 months later, the DC-9 gained FAA certification in late 1965. The first delivery to launch customer Delta Airlines occurred in December 1965, allowing the airline to inaugurate DC-9 passenger services in spring 1966. American Airlines, United Airlines, and Eastern Airlines also began DC-9 operations in quick succession. The DC-910 production model differed little from the prototypical 00 test version. Early aircraft seated an all-economy cabin of 90 passengers and featured the 14,500 pound of thrust Pratt & Whitney JT 8 D5 or 7 turbofans, along with basic VHF communications and VOR or ILS navigation avionics. The initial DC-910 was well received, with over 100 aircraft delivered to airlines worldwide within the first 3 years. However, airlines quickly requested an extended model with greater range and passenger capacity. Responding rapidly, Douglas stretched the fuselage by nearly 9 feet to create the DC-930 just 2 years after launch of the 10. With typical 2+3 seating for up to 115 passengers, the 30 remained an all-tourist class configuration. The extra length also boosted range and enabled higher 22,000 pound of thrust from the JT-8D9 engines. After its 1968 debut, the DC-930 became the definitive member of the first-generation DC-9 family. By lengthening the DC-9's fuselage across successive variants, Douglas was able to expand seating and fuel capacity in an exceptionally efficient manner, thanks to the rear-mounted engine configuration. The basic DC-9 design proved highly adaptable to incremental stretching, allowing it to keep pace with airline demands for greater capacity through the early 1970s. The growth DC-950 series emerged in 1975 with cabin improvements and more powerful engines on the enlarged airframe. The 50 fuselage, extended to 117 feet overall, introduced a 2+3 dual-class cabin with up to 139 passengers, as well as upgraded interior furnishing, while new high-bypass JT-8D15 and 17 turbofans provided more efficient performance. Starting in 1980, McDonnell Douglas offered advanced new CRT cockpit avionics and digital flight guidance systems, including a pioneering electronic flight instrument system, EFIS, leading to the upgraded DC-9 Super 80 series. The final DC-9 variant, the 80 Series 82, could seat up to 170 passengers in a 142-foot-long fuselage. Across all models, the DC-9's lifetime deliveries exceeded 900 aircraft, making it among the most successful jetliner families ever produced. Throughout its long service life, the DC-9 established an excellent reputation for robustness, reliability, and longevity. Its sturdy airframe design enabled cyclic pressurization for up to 90,000 flight cycles and 60,000 flight hours, exceptional durability for an early jet. Simple systems with minimal complexity, enhanced dispatch rates. Airlines prized the DC-9 for its versatility, operating economics, and low maintenance. For over 4 decades, the DC-9 served admirably as both a mainline jet and regional workhorse. In 2006, Northwest Airlines' famous Flight 2 made the final commercial passenger DC-9 service between Minneapolis and Regina, Saskatchewan, before retiring to the Aviation Museum in Minnesota's capital. However, dozens of earlier DC-9s continue earning their keep in the world's cargo fleets to the present day, a testament to the durable design. In military and government applications, modified versions like the C-9 Nightingale medical transport have also enjoyed lengthy careers of reliable service. With hundreds still aloft after 50-plus years and many millions of flight hours, the DC-9's legacy as one of aviation's steadiest, longest-lived designs endures. Beyond the impressive longevity of its airframe, the DC-9 helped shape the very evolution of jet travel in numerous less tangible ways. When it first appeared in the mid-1960s, the traveling public was just growing accustomed to pure jetliners like the 707 and DC-8. Yet these larger aircraft were too big for efficiently serving many shorter routes between smaller cities. With its mix of modest size, ruggedness, efficiency, and comfort, the DC-9 proved that jets could deliver a superior passenger experience regardless of stage length. The DC-9 introduced millions of travelers to the conveniences of jet travel on routes too small for earlier types, playing a key role in democratizing the jet age outside major hubs. It sparked a boom in jet service reaching deep into heartland America and beyond, accelerating the demise of propeller airliners across the industry. In doing so, the DC-9 pioneered the jetway, a distinct airline business model tailored for lower-cost, higher-frequency jet operations feeding traffic into larger hubs. The DC-9's range and field performance allowed airlines to profitably deploy pure jets across both major trunk routes and shorter regional spokes. McDonnell Douglas's MD-80 series, the most successful DC-9 variant, was instrumental in hub-and-spoke network development for carriers like American, Delta, and United. On short hops, the DC-9 delivered superior comfort, speed, and on-time reliability compared to older propeller planes like the DC-3, changing passenger expectations for quality of service. Over time, as smaller cities gained their first jet links courtesy of the DC-9, the allure of pure jet flying filtered down to progressively smaller and more remote destinations. Passengers were not the only beneficiaries of the DC-9's versatile efficiencies. The DC-9's economical short-field performance permitted jet operations into airports previously inaccessible to larger jets, expanding air service to communities of all sizes. Its modest length and nimble handling opened up small downtown airports close to city centers. The DC-9 proved adept at operating from constrained urban airfields in Chicago Midway, Washington National, New York LaGuardia, and other high-value metropolitan gateways. New, at-last jet service advertisements greeted the DC-9 as it ushered in the jet age at airports across America and the world, transforming accessibility for business and leisure travelers alike. Big jet speed and comfort could now be enjoyed direct to the nation's smaller cities and airports. The DC-9 made the benefits of the jet revolution accessible to travelers both large and small in ways its larger forebears could not. As it democratized jet travel domestically in the 1960s, the DC-9 soon spread its wings internationally as well. Overseas flag carriers and smaller regional airlines also recognized the type's versatility for short and medium-haul routes in Europe, Asia, and elsewhere. DC-9s ushered in affordable jet service to destinations from Dusseldorf to Darwin, at last bringing global connectivity within reach of more communities worldwide. Affordable, reliable jet links provided by the DC-9 did much to spur international business and tourism growth for communities of all sizes. In the Americas, Latin flag carriers like Aeromexico, Avianca, and Varig introduced millions of flyers to comfortable, efficient jet flights aboard DC-9s and later MD-80s, linking major cities across Central and South America. For destinations dependent on tourism, the DC-9 provided regularly scheduled jet access and superior passenger comfort that helped enable substantial visitor growth. Even rugged gravel runways and high-altitude airports across the Andes and Amazon proved no match for the durable DC-9 over decades of intensive use. The DC-9 provided more than just efficient, reliable passenger service. Convertible combis allowed airlines like Swissair, SAS, and Air New Zealand to offer flexible mixed passenger freight configurations to suit seasonal demand. Starting in the 1980s, second-hand DC-9s found new life in dedicated cargo and express parcel rolls. Their versatility and durability proved well suited for the demands of overnight package operators like FedEx and UPS. Reborn as freighters with many more decades of service ahead, elderly jetliners once written off as obsolete passenger aircraft now earn second, third, and even fourth act careers hauling time-sensitive freight around the clock. Even now, nearly 60 years since its maiden flight, cargo remains a major market sustaining hundreds of DC-9s in active use. In sparking widespread adoption of jet equipment across an array of business models and global regions, the DC-9 played a truly seminal role in aviation's post-war maturation. More than merely a successful airframe, it helped transform how airlines serve travelers and shippers across stage lengths, airport sizes, and destinations worldwide. The DC-9's influence reached well beyond its own substantial sales, as it demonstrated the commercial viability of smaller, lower-cost, pure jet equipment. The DC-9 paved the way for successors like Boeing's 737 that became aviation workhorses in their own right. By proving the economics of short-haul jet operations, the DC-9 created and defined an entirely new jetliner category whose development it catalyzed across the industry for decades. Powering this revolution in mass air travel, the DC-9 required equally innovative engineering to push the boundaries of jetliner design in the early 1960s. Despite its modest size by later standards, the DC-9 incorporated numerous advanced technologies to new effect. It represented a major commitment by Douglas just as demand was shifting to jets, forcing an existential change in corporate thinking. Transitioning its legacy in propeller airliners, Douglas's engineers succeeded in applying emerging turbofan propulsion, lightweight structures, aerodynamic efficiency, and systems integration skills to the commercial jet era through the DC-9. While overshadowed by Boeing's 707 on long-haul routes, the DC-9 proved Douglas's equal in applying new technical capabilities to the domestic jet market. Its clean design achieved outstanding efficiency for its time. That the DC-9 achieved such stellar aerodynamics on a smaller airframe testified to its carefully honed shaping. Its all-new wing, optimized for higher lift and cruise performance, even surpassed Boeing's 727 predecessor. Cleverly packaged within its compact cross-section, the DC-9 delivered robust systems reliability and interior spaciousness with just 2 power plants. Throughout, the DC-9 reflected an elegant efficiency of form following function. Its tautly drawn lines merged aesthetic beauty with engineering necessity. The visual kinship between the pioneering DC-9 and its subsequent MD-80 or 717 descendants is a testament to the enduring appeal of the original design. On the flight deck, the DC-9 demanded new levels of sophistication in controls, displays, and aerodynamic response to tame high-performance turbofans within a smaller airframe. Along with contemporary designs like the Caravelle and BAC 111, it helped advance digital avionics and autopilots necessary for precise jetliner control. Douglas engineers overcame substantial technical hurdles to meld the new JT-8D turbofan's power and efficiency with the DC-9's fine-tuned handling. Integrating the sophisticated turbofan power plant on a twin-jet airframe required avionics that balanced automation and feedback to enable easier, more intuitive operating techniques for airline pilots training up on early jets. The refined flight control harmony on the DC-9 set a new benchmark for smaller jetliners, especially in protecting against stalls and other loss of control. Its handling precision and stall protection established the DC-9 as a thoroughly modern jet with greater margins of safety for commercial flying. The DC-9's many technical achievements stemmed from Douglas's long expertise across successive generations of legendary airliners. Each airplane in the DC airliner lineage built logically upon its forebears, incorporating decades of accumulated experience and innovation. The DC-9 adopted proven features like T-tails, rear engines, and triple-slotted flaps carried over from the larger DC-8. Yet, unlike Boeing, which based its pioneering 707 on military jet knowledge before translating it to airliner use, the DC-9 represented Douglas's first purpose-built jetliner design. From a commercial perspective, the DC-9 program endowed Douglas with crucial technical experience in high-bypass turbofans, swept wings, modern avionics, flight controls, structures, and systems integration that translated to improved designs for decades hence. The DC-9 served as an important bridge helping Douglas cross from the propeller era into the jet age with a competitive product line. This new expertise was soon channeled into the advanced DC-10 wide-body tri-jet, establishing Douglas's capabilities as a full-spectrum jetliner maker throughout the 1970s and beyond. The DC-10 incorporated many lessons from the DC-9, from high-lift devices to controls philosophy. So too did later designs at McDonnell Douglas like the MD-80 and MD-90, direct DC-9 descendants that became commercial bestsellers themselves. Components from these programs also found wide application on military aircraft. Thus, the DC-9's DNA lives on in numerous high-performance military transports, tankers, and special mission derivatives built by Douglas and its eventual merger partner McDonnell Aircraft. Creating a common design heritage shared across vital airliner and defense programs, the DC-9 laid important pillars of the McDonnell Douglas brand that shaped global aviation, over the next half century.